essence, it's mindfulness. But we're not talking about self-conscious mindfulness here. We're talking about empty of ideas, of clinging to this separate body mind that we imagine we are. So it's kind of like the glass has to be empty in order to be filled with water before we can drink it. And we need to be empty inside to be filled with the water as we drink. So to fully receive the light and love and compassion of the Buddha, we have to be willing to stay still to receive the life force of our essential being. And there's a poem by Rumi that many of you have probably heard before that I wanted to read in terms of the spirit of receiving the compassion and love of the Buddha. It's called Love Dogs. One night a man was crying, Allah, Allah. Allah is the Muslim God, I'm sure most of you know. His lips grew sweet with the praising until a cynic said, "So, I have heard you calling out, but have you ever gotten any response?" The man had no answer for that. He quit praying and fell into a confused sleep. He dreamed he saw Kadir, the guide of souls, in a thick green foliage. Kadir asked him, "Why did you stop praising?" And the man answered, "Because I never heard anything back." Kadir said to him, "This longing you express is the return message. The grief you cry out from draws you toward union. Your pure sadness that wants help is the secret cup. Listen to the moan of a dog for its master. That whining is the connection. There are love dogs no one knows the names of. Give your life to be one of them." I heard Alfie in there. He got a little arf in there.
He did, and I wanted to share right at this moment that my mother-in-law, years and years ago, in my first marriage, summarized what you're saying. She said, "Sometimes we're so busy shouting, 'Thy will be done,' that we don't take time to listen." And I've never forgotten that. Mother-in-law wisdom.
Yes, mother-in-law wisdom. Yeah. And there was one part of the meditation this morning, I don't remember the exact phrase, but it had something to do with deep devotion or deep strength, deep compassion without doubt. And, you know, being a real dog person, you know, when my dog shows he loves me and I show I love my dog, there's no doubt. So there's no resistance because I know that he doesn't judge me, you know. There's more of a fullness of that receiving of the love. So part of the difficulty in fully opening to the Buddha's compassion, infinite compassion, is our fear of being judged, because we judge ourselves and we feel judged by others. So just being aware of that opens the door for us to more fully accept and welcome that fear and bring that non-judgmental attitude to ourselves. And in that process, we are receiving the Buddha's infinite compassion, infinite open awareness and unconditional acceptance. So to really open to that more fully, we embody it more fully, and then we can, our compassion and our love no longer shares the limits of our contracted fear or our, blocked fear. We learn to relax our contracted state of being, our fearful state of being. And then we begin to share the limitless, boundless potential to love on a more wide basis. And nobody can really say what the effects of that are. We live in a vast, vast universe, and we are that ever-present, timeless presence. So it could be like she said in the meditation, one compassionate thought can have boundless, infinite effects on the suffering of the world. So we're learning to be kind to our efforts to control and bargain with our life by attaching to our thoughts about it. We learn to let them go, welcome them in and let them go, and see that they don't really have the power to veil our true nature. That's a big part of Buddha's strength and stability and his imperturbability that Judith mentioned in the meditation there. So it's good for us to ask questions, because we are thinking beings. I mean, like Bruno, my Labrador, he doesn't have any doubt, but he also doesn't have questions. So maybe, we're endowed with the ability to question. And our questions are a big gift too, a very powerful, meaningful gift to us from our Buddha nature. And we accept the power of those questions and realize that they are a gift, that it is our connection. Our grief and our moaning is the connection with the Buddha on a feeling level, and our spirit of inquiry, our wanting to know, by asking deep questions, is that connection to the Buddha in a different form. And it becomes more and more like the moaning of the dog, the deep, pure feeling of it that's not restricted, it doesn't doubt. It becomes more that way, the more we can embody the question, live the question, move beyond the conceptual forms of the question. So I have a poem that I wrote. It's called Live the Question. I'm captivated by this mystery. We've never known anything other than being this mystery. And it is you, great mystery, and all of us together. I only want to rest in you, to fully rest in your gifts, your invitations, your love, as the fulcrum of this life. The many forms of the question, what is this? What is this being? Arise on their own. There's no benefit in judging which forms want to be manifest. To follow our breath in meditation is to breathe the question, whether or not we're thinking of the question. We hear the question in passing cars, the faraway roar of a jet, the ringing in our ears. We see the question in the shining light of a newborn baby's eyes, a loved one's grave, a brilliant sunset. We feel the question as the warmth of our heart shares the joy of friendship. As we long for your love, great mystery, even in the grief and fear of our own death. These are a few of the countless invitations you give us to fully hear, see, feel, and live this question, the source of all questions. And I'll close with one more shorter one. This one's called Kindness. Like a mother's love for her newborn child, the most important thing in life is a soft, open heart that knows from beyond the confines of the mind that the universe is made of loving kindness. A great master was once asked, there are so many extraordinary spiritual experiences reported by so many people. How can we know which ones are actually real? And the master replied, you will know when it's perfectly clear to you that the immutable foundation of the experience is kindness. So, I hope that we're all learning to live the questions we have in that spirit of receiving and then giving and offering.
A sweet word, a tender thought makes miracles.
Yeah. So, interested to hear what others have been getting from this morning's meditation and the discussion.
I would like to ask a specific question, and that is, how do you receive the Buddha's love? How does that manifest for you?
You're asking that to everyone, right?
Or or anything else that you want to struck you this morning.
Well, what comes up for me is I ask for it in a prayer. And I remember what Ramana Maharshi said is, surrender itself is a mighty prayer. So I might ask for it in the verbal form of a passing thought. Please shower me with your love and compassion, and then just open up and surrender and open as much as I'm able, which may be very limited still, but who knows?
But when you have that sort of general attitude of, I'm opening up, I'm allowing things to unfold, your life feels gentle and as though there are so many possibilities.
Yeah, and that's the vitality arises from that, to explore what is this life, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And maybe what makes it difficult sometimes, like one thing I was going to mention in the talk, that just, you know, our experience during meditation, I mean, thoughts are coming and going and disappearing and arising again and again, feelings, sights and sounds, all that's always going on. And to really, you know, receive means to empty ourselves of the grasping and the turning away and just let everything go as it goes.
Do you remember at Cloud Cottage in the Zendo, Philip used to call it 18-wheeler Zen because we were close to I-40?
Yeah.
So yeah, that was all part of it.
Yeah.
And when I went into when Philip and I went into prisons, same thing. All the PA system and all the noise and the metal doors, all of that was part of our meditation.
That's part of living
we just we opened up to all of it.
Yeah, and what I was just going to finish with along that vein is that even though I've been practicing this way for many, many years, I still catch myself when I'm thinking, okay, just let everything go as it goes. Receive all your experience. Don't grasp. Don't turn away. don't resist and just be, I still ask myself once in a while, well, how do you do that? The answer more and more comes more immediately is you don't do it. It does you, you know. So that maybe that's when I understand people's hesitancy to answer, because we don't know how to do it, because we don't do it. We can't do it. But we let the Buddha's compassion and infinite acceptance and openness and immutability, let him do or her do the opening, do the receiving, and do the doing of it.
Yeah, let's hear from somebody else. We have time. Bob, would you like to say something?
Yeah, I got it a little late today because I'm still coming back from a pretty bad bronchial infection. So my coughing and sneezing hasn't yet stopped. So anyway, I was glad to get in when I did, because even though I didn't hear the entire meditation, the thought about not doing and just being is something I've tried over years. And sometimes I get it, sometimes I don't. So anyway, that's all I have for now. Thanks.
Thank you, Bob.
Thanks,
Be
Bob.
well. Get better.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Mary Jo?
I hope you can hear me.
Yes.
Yeah, I really appreciate this meditation this morning. I have a lot on my mind, a lot of family things going on. I don't feel like I can share it right now. But thank you. Thank you for this open space, non-judgmental space.
Thanks, Mary Jo.
Thank you so much for being here. I see somebody, it says iPad, but I don't see a name, and your face is a little bit in shadow, and I can't see who it is. Who is that?
Georgina.
Who is
It's Georgina.
Georgina? I was thinking you were not with us this morning because I couldn't see your face. Would you like to share something?
I was thinking meditation. Yes, I was thinking of, how the judgment to myself, and then by doing that, then when I put thumbs up in other things besides me, because it seems like the judgment in your head is always going on, and then I try to kind of look at it and then sort of like what, and a little bit, and then it sort of helps me open to things that I have a problem with, or the habit of doing that all the time and not allowing things to be as but so much that you talked about, and I think about a word or a thought, and means so much to every to anyone. Different circumstances. It's just it's amazing how that works. Or even a look, a soft look by someone. I remember sometime I was walking into a store, feeling kind of down, and I heard this man coming towards me. It was and the look, gentleness of it was almost as if, he could see through that I was down, and that just kind of, it was sort of just the meeting of the eyes. I never, it was amazing. I think of that moment way back. Sure, there's been many more in my life. It was really special.
Thank you, Georgina.
Thanks, Georgina. You were going in and out a little bit, but I got the gist of what you were saying, and I get the sense, a deep sense that, you're, as we do this over and over again, and particularly with you, our minds become softer and more spacious, and we're more able to receive that reception that guy was giving you, We're able to receive and reflect his compassion back, and that stimulates your own compassion, There's less attachment to our thinking, and that in itself, enables us to feel more intuitively our true nature, and then the connection of the shared being with you and that man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Norma, would you like to share?
Good morning. Thank you so much for your meditation, and Roger for your poetry and words, and I'm just feeling very much gratitude. And it's just, I'm realizing that for a person who likes to be in control and is usually in control, right now I can't walk on one leg, and I have to turn all of that to myself. And it was always, when I heard those words, it was towards what can I do for somebody else? And now it's what can I do for myself to be able to receive and have compassion for what's going on, And that was a real switch for me. This has been, it's like, this is a moment. This is my moment of really seeing what it is to be in total mindfulness all the time. Not to watch the time, not to watch every move I make. Every single move with my foot. I have to watch where I put the scooter, how I put it down, how I turn my leg to support it. Is being in total mindfulness. It's just, it's like, wow, this is a test. And also just to receive the love and support that I'm getting from my husband and daughters, particularly, is really quite wonderful. So this was so perfect for me to hear. I listened to Tara Brach yesterday, and she talked about don't believe your thoughts, which I've heard over and over again, and it really kind of it really hit home, just how you can switch something in a minute, in a second, by just where you are in your head. And it was very powerful. It was lovely. I've never heard her talk that long, and it was very beautiful, very loving, and very real. And it really, all of it is helping me right now. So I'm very grateful. And hi, Kathy, sitting in the back. Sending you a big hug. Thank you so much for a very rich and beautiful morning.
Yeah.
Thank you, Norma.
Thanks, Norma.
So I know you don't have your bell, but when we're just about to sign off, and unless somebody has something else right now, which we have a couple minutes, then I'll do the bell and you do the chant, okay? We
Okay.
can make, there might be a delay, it might be a little funky, but I'm sure nobody will mind. Okay, anybody else?